Who the best Minecraft players has been a debate that's lasted for as long as Minecraft's existence. Some people say it's Dream, some people say it's Technoblade, some people think it's Fruitberries, some people even think it's Moxie. Many videos claim so many different players that this debate really will never end, will it? Which is why I decided to take on the challenge to see who really is the best Minecraft player is. Now I've done this before, but people weren't really happy with my results.
The moment you have all been waiting for. Who is the #1 player? From Minecraft Monday, Cxlvxn's teammate, Moxie.
I mean, honestly, I don't know why people were angry at me. Clearly, people just can't accept the truth. Okay, but seriously though, this is why I decided to take on the challenge to once again see who the best Minecraft player is. Now, before anyone gets mad, obviously I can't list every single Minecraft player ever. There's probably some god out there who literally can beat everyone at everything we're gonna talk about here today. But I decided to name some of the main well-known players who are considered always to be one of the best Minecraft players. And today, we're gonna see who really is the best Minecraft player. Now before the video starts, this video took a really long time to make, so the least you could do is at least leave a like and subscribe. It would mean a lot, or even a comment, help me out with the YouTube algorithm. It would mean a lot, and hope you guys enjoy this video. Now the way I decided to do this to find who the best Minecraft player is by doing a point system. In this point system, there will be 7 categories in total, each one being a total of 10 points except for 2, which are both 5 points. This means the max score to get is 60 points, and to be an average player, you need at least a 30 and above. Now I went on to find a lot of Minecraft players to see who was the best, and I was able to get over 100 potential best Minecraft players, having to score points for every single one of them. So before you yell at me and tell me I did not do a lot of work for this video, you're wrong. But anyways, let's start off and explain all of these categories, which will help us find the best Minecraft player. Now the first category I'm gonna bring up is probably gonna be the most controversial category that's gonna be talked about in the comment section. Please just hear me out. The first category is speedrunning. Now as a speedrunner myself, people are gonna say I am biased and speedrunning isn't a fair category because not everyone speedruns, but you could also make the argument that not everyone PvPs, not everyone likes to build, not everyone does redstone, but it's still an aspect of the game that while not everyone does it, it takes a lot of skill, and this is why speedrunning is part of this category. Speedrunning also helps out with a lot of categories on this list, such as game IQ, survival, and sometimes even mechanics, which just shows how important speedrunning really is to everything else that's going to be talked about in these point systems, which is why it is here. Now the next category we have in this point system is game IQ. Game IQ shows the knowledge of your game, and this knowledge can spread out throughout the whole leaderboard. For example, knowledge in survival, it adds to your game IQ, and same goes for your knowledge in redstone, PvP, speedrunning, and etc. All of this will go towards your game IQ, which will help you get some extra points, and I believe that game IQ is a really big part of the game, and that's why it is here. The third category is probably the most well-known category ever, PvP. PvP is probably the biggest competitive aspect in Minecraft, so there's just no way we can ignore this category. PvP will be judged based on how good your PvP is overall, but I also understand that there are some players who are gods in one version, but aren't that good at the other, so this is why I decided that if you're good at one version over the other, you'll be scored out of 8 points on your main version. But if you're good at both versions, you're gonna get those extra 2 points that will push you towards the 10 total points you need. I personally feel like this is a fair scoring system, and it might even be too generous, but that's how I'm gonna do it, and I think it's the most fair system for both PvP versions. Now the fourth category we will be looking at is survival. Now I personally think this is probably the most straightforward category of them all. It's pretty much just your knowledge of Minecraft survival overall and how good you are at it. Once again, really straightforward category, and let's just move on from it. Now the fifth category of this point system is game mechanics. Now I don't really know what to call this, but I'm just gonna call it game mechanics, but pretty much it is a category that can be impacted by many things. For example, PvP mechanics, speedrun mechanics, bridging, parkour, and many more. I think it's pretty fair for highly technical players, and I think they deserve credit for being really technical as well. So that's pretty much a summary of this category. Really straightforward, once again, just like survival, and let's move on to the final 2 categories. Now, some of you might remember at the beginning of the video, I said all of these categories were worth 10 points, except for 2 that were worth 5. And you guys are gonna be mad, but let me explain, okay? The 2 categories that are worth 5 points are building and redstone. Now, the reason why these 2 don't have as many points are not only are they not very popular, especially redstone, but it just seems like some people are just naturally better at these. For example, me, I've been playing this game for years and I'm still really bad at building. And I'm not saying that it's impossible to get better at building or redstone, but it seems to me that some people are just naturally better at these than others. Now, also, don't tell anyone, but I personally think these are boring. But yeah, that's why I personally think that redstone and building both get 5 points. And that's it. That's all the categories that we could finally move on to the players themselves. Now, let's super quickly recap on all the categories. We have speedrunning, game IQ, PvP, survival, mechanics, building, and redstone. These are all the categories that we will use to find who is the best Minecraft player. Now, me personally, I think this is a really good point system. I think it covers everything, or at least the main things in Minecraft, and I can't really think of anything else that could be included in here. So now that that's all out the way, let's get right into the top players and see who is the best Minecraft player. Now, let's start off with the lowest scoring player out of all the top players. This being Dream. Now, Dream, he is really well known for being one of the best Minecraft players. Some people even think he's the best ever. Now, unfortunately, that's just not true. However, he is still considered one of the top players. So let's explain why. First, let's start off with speedrunning. Now, Dream is really well known for his speedrunning. He has held many world records before, but I personally think Dream gets a 7 in speedrunning because, like I said in the past, he has shown that he's a good speedrunner. He's gotten many world records, but also you can make the argument that back then, speedruns just weren't as optimized as they were, and they took way less skill than they do now. Now, I do believe that Dream does have high potential for speedrunning. I think he could get like an 8 or a 9 on this category, but since he really doesn't speedrun anymore, and back then speedrunning wasn't really as optimized and didn't take as much skill to get a world record like it does now, I'm gonna stick to a 7 points, but like I said, I do think Dream could definitely improve on this. Up next is Dream's game IQ. And now, while he's really well known for his super epic, amazing manhunt plays, those aren't really what I'm looking for this. Game IQ is based on your knowledge of the game, and while it does take a little bit of knowledge to do those plays, they're just not enough in my opinion to give some points. However, that doesn't mean that Dream doesn't get points for this. Game IQ is based on your knowledge of the game, and I believe speedrunning gives him a point because, like I said before, speedrunning, you have to learn a good amount of the game to learn how to speedrun, and especially to be a top speedrunner like he was back in the day. And that's why he gets from 5 points to 6 points. That's not it. Also, his knowledge in PvP and parkour help him get that extra points to get full 7 points on this category. I personally think this is pretty fair, and let's move on to the next category, which is PvP. Now, Dream's PvP is actually, in my opinion, very underrated. Dream is really good at 1.9 PvP, which is his main version. So 1.9 is going to be the one where we score him at an 8. And like I said, he is really good at 1.9 PvP. So good that I personally think that he gets 8 out of 8 points, which is full points for 1.9 PvP being his main category. However, just because 1.9 is his main category doesn't mean he's not good at 1.8. And unlike a lot of players, Dream is also pretty good at 1.8. giving him 1 extra point for 1.8. Now, I don't think that he's like crazy insane to get the full 2 points on 1.8, but I do, however, think that he deserves at least 1 point for 1.8, giving him a total of 9 out of 10 points in PvP, which is really good. Up next is his survival. Now, Dream's survival was really interesting to me. Now, Dream does play survival on the Dream SMP, but there isn't really anything crazy or insane that I've seen from his Dream SMP gameplay that would earn him points there. If anything, he just seems like your average, normal survival player. However, I do think he deserves a point because of his speedrunning background. To become a speedrunner, you have to learn a lot about the game itself, specifically survival, which is where speedruns take place. So this is why Dream gets his 6 points instead of 5, which is average, thanks to Dream's speedrun background. Up next, we have Dream's mechanics. Now, Dream's mechanics points come from both his PvP and parkour skills. PvP because he knows how to do PvP correctly, just like using his shield and fishing rod. And parkour because he's just really good at parkour overall and has proved it time and time again. Now next is redstone and building, and I just don't know anything about Dream's redstone or building. I have never seen him build, I have never seen him redstone. So I'm just gonna give him the average points for this. 1 for redstone because most people at least know the basics of redstone. And 2 for building because everyone's at least decent at building. Like no one's gonna be super bad who makes a dirt house. And that's it, that's all of Dream's points. And with all of these points combined, Dream gets a total of 39 points, which is really good. But unfortunately for Dream, it's just not enough to become the best Minecraft player. There is a lot of other players who are better than him, and I will explain why. Now, some of you guys may have noticed that took a really long time to explain Dream. And first of all, there's 3 reasons for this. First of all, I like views. Talking about Dream will get me views. 2, I don't want people yelling at me in the comments saying, Dream is way better than this. You are wrong and stupid. And 3, it was a good example of how I'm ranking these point systems and how it works. So again, that took a really long time, but we're not going to do that again. These next couple players we're going to talk about, we're going to speedrun them, we're going to explain them as quick as we can so that this video isn't like an hour long. Now up next we have every speedrunner's favorite person, Curryway. Now Curryway immediately gets a 9 on speedrunning. He is one of the best speedrunners out there right now. Definitely a world record contender and he's insane. Game IQ he gets a 7. He gets this from speedrunning and survival, which we'll get to later. PvP he gets a 6. I haven't seen him PvP in a while, but I know he has a PvP pass, so he had to be at least above average back in the day. Survival he gets a 7. He's proven many times that he's really good at survival, and speedrunning also helps out. Last but not least, we have a 6 in mechanics. These are pretty much just the average speedrunner mechanics. I don't think Curryway has anything crazy mechanics-wise in speedrunning, but they're definitely better than the average speedrunners though. And last but not least, we have building. Now building, surprisingly, Curryway's a 4. I did my research and Curryway's actually not bad at building. At least at making houses, that's what I saw. And last but not least, we got a 1 in redstone. I don't know how good Curryway is at redstone, so he only gets a 1, and that's a total of 40 points for Curryway. Really good. Really impressive, and beating Dream? Curryway's better than Dream? Oh my god. Up next, we have another player who is considered the best player ever, Grian. Now, Grian is really interesting. He has a 4 in speedrunning. This is because Grian has a lot of survival experience and he at least has a decent idea of how to speedrun. Next is Game IQ, which this is really generous. I decided to give Grian instead of 1.2 points for Game IQ, just because of all his knowledge he has in Minecraft survival. Up next is PvP. Now I know a lot of people say Grian is really good at PvP, and I even saw this video saying Grian is a PvP god, but after watching the video I noticed that most of his kills weren't even that crazy or impressive. They were just killing after someone was already low, or it just wasn't good or crazy. This is why I'm giving Grian an average of 5 points for PvP. I think this is really fair, and I'm sorry, I couldn't find anything that will give him more points. Now up next for Grian is survival, and I think this is just pretty obvious for Grian. Grian plays a lot of survival, and he's really good at it. There's just not much else to it. Then there's mechanics, where he gets a total of 6 points. Now Grian gets this point from parkour because of all the practice he did in MCC, which clearly made him a lot better at parkour, getting him points. And last but not least, the 2 categories, building and redstone. Building is pretty obvious for me. I mean, it's Grian. This guy's like a master builder. Now for redstone, Grian plays survival, and I know that he plays with Mumbo Jumbo, and I know Mumbo Jumbo has taught him a lot about redstone, so that's why he gets 2 points for redstone. I think this is pretty fair. This gives Grian a final score of 40 points, which is really good. Just like Curryway, 40 points. Really good, still a top player. Now up next, we have another player who's really similar to Grian in stats-wise. This is SB737. Now SB, in my opinion, is a really slept-on player. His speedrunning is 5, which isn't very good, but I know he's speedrun before, so he has a little bit of experience on it. Next is his Game IQ. SB gets 2 points for Game IQ, just like Grian, for the exact same reason. He knows a lot about Minecraft survival, and has a lot of experience for it. Next is PvP, and I couldn't find anything about SB and PvP, but I do know he's an MCC, so he has to be at least average, because I know he's a top MCC player. Up next is survival, and this guy, just like Grian, he's a master at survival. I think he has a hardcore series that goes over like 1,000 days. Really crazy stuff. Up next is mechanics, which, similar to Grian, is parkour, MCC practice, very straightforward. And last but not least is building and redstone. Now building, he is really good at building. I saw his hardcore builds, really good. And redstone, I mean, he's been playing hardcore for a long time. He has to know at least a good amount of redstone to be playing hardcore for that long. And this leaves SB737 with a total of 40 points, which is really good, tied with Grian and Curryway. Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. We are off to the top juicy crackhead players, and we're gonna start off with Fruitberries. So Fruitberries is another player that's considered by a lot of people as the best Minecraft player, but unfortunately just by a couple points that's just not true. Fruitberries' speedrunning points are 7. Fruitberries has a lot of speedrunning experience, but he hasn't reached the level that many top players like Curryway. 7 is still really good though. Next up is game IQ. Now his game IQ come from a lot of different places: speedrunning, PvP, and mechanics, which we'll get to later. But all of this gives Fruitberries total points of 8 in game IQ, which is really good. In PvP, Fruitberries is also doing really good for himself with a total of 8 points, which are both really split between 1.9 and 1.8. Now, I don't think Fruitberries is a crackhead at either of these versions, but he's really good at both, and I think 8 is really good for Fruitberries points-wise in PvP. Up next is Survival, and I don't really know if Fruitberries plays Survival. I couldn't really find anything, but he's able to get the number 6 here because of his speedrunning experience. Of course, speedrunning always helps out the Survival category. Up next is his Mechanics, which is really what makes Fruitberries a really top player. He gets a total of 10. This all comes from bridging, parkour. I mean, have you seen his parkour gauntlets? Those are crazy. PvP, speedrunning, and honestly, he's just a god overall, mechanics-wise, and that's why he has a 10. Really deserved. And for building on redstone, he has the average 2 and 1. This gives him a total of 42 points. Again, Fruitberries, absolute crackhead of a gamer, one of the best Minecraft players ever, but unfortunately, really close, but it's just not enough for him to be the best Minecraft player. And now that we're done with Fruitberries, we're now off to the top 3 best Minecraft players. Now these 3 players, once again, all amazing, all incredible players, but one of them has to be the best. And today, we're gonna find out. Starting off with Feinberg. Now Feinberg is one of those low profile but insane Minecraft players. He is a crackhead. And the only reason why I know who he is because he's a top speedrunner. Feinberg has a speedrunning score of 10. This is because he is an absolute crackhead. He has shown time and time again that he is really good at all the categories, and he's an absolute dominant player at the All Advancements Minecraft speedruns, giving him a total of 10 points for speedrunning, which is really good. Up next is Feinberg's game IQ. Now Feinberg's game IQ comes from all around the leaderboard. For example, speedrunning, PvP, and mechanics. All around the leaderboard goes towards Feinberg's game IQ, which gives him a total of 8, which is really good and just really impressive. Up next is Feinberg's PvP. Feinberg has an 8 in PvP, getting 7 out of 8 in 1.8, and a 1 out of 2 in 1.9. This is because Feinberg is good at both Minecraft versions. He's just the absolute crackhead, getting him the 8 points for PvP. On to Survival. Now Feinberg would normally have a 6. Average speedrunner will only get 1 point on Survival from speedrunning, but due to Feinberg being able to get all the advancements so quickly and having like 3 world records on the All Advancement speedruns, this gives him a 7 in Survival because he could literally beat the whole entire game, get every achievement in 3 hours. How is that not worth another extra point for Survival? And now on to Mechanics. Feinberg gets 2 points added onto Mechanics, being both from speedrunning and PvP, getting him 7 total points in Mechanics. And last but not least, Building and Redstone. Yada yada, nobody cares. 2 and 1 average. I don't know if he builds or if he redstones. Getting him total points of 43, which is absolutely insane, beating Fruitberries by 1. And the fact that Feinberg, being such a dominant player, Only being 3rd place is absolutely insane and just shows how good these next 2 players are. And coming in at 2nd place for being the best Minecraft player ever is Illumina. Now, Illumina is also another player that's always been included in the best Minecraft players scene. And it clearly shows why. Being 2nd is really impressive, especially for a point system that requires so much skill around the whole game like this one. And others may also know that Illumina is considered the best Minecraft speedrunner ever, including by me, being a top speedrunner for over 5 years, and still being a top speedrunner to this day, which is literally why he has a 10 in speedrunning. It's just a given. Now, Illumina's game IQ comes from PvP and speedrunning, giving him 8 total points, which is really good. And the reason why he gets 2 extra points from speedrunning instead of 1 is he's been playing for years. It wouldn't shock me if he knows a lot of things that many players don't, and that's why he gets 2 points instead of 1 from speedrunning, giving him 8 total points in game IQ. Also, Illumina is also really good at PvP. He is balanced at both versions, just like Fruitberries. And just like Fruitberries, he's gonna get an 8 for PvP, which is also really good. Now, unlike Feinberg, Illumina is gonna get the casual survival points for a speedrunner, which is 6. I have never seen Illumina really play survival, but since he's a speedrunner, obviously, he gets that extra point because you know how it goes. Now on to Illumina's mechanics. Illumina gets his mechanics from PvP, speedrunning, and just parkour really. He's a god at like every single aspect of the game. Even bridging, this guy is absolutely crazy, and that's why he gets an 8 in mechanics. This guy is just really good at his mechanics of the game. And last but not least, who cares? Building redstone 2-on-1. Illumina isn't really well known for his redstone and building, so he just gets the average points, giving Illumina a total score of 43, which is absolutely insane, and giving him that 2nd place spot. Man, we've gone through so many top players, I literally can't even count them all. So many top players, and even then, none of these guys are the best Minecraft player. And I guess it's time to reveal who really is the best Minecraft player, and let's just find out.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for. Duh.
It's me. Nah, I'm just kidding, everybody. It's Technoblade. But please tell me in the comments if I got you. I want to get at least 1 person with that joke. It would make my day. And for the people who are wondering what I ranked myself, here it is on the screen. No bias at all. I tried to be as legit as possible. But anyways, let's talk about the real best player, Technoblade. Technoblade has a score of 5 in speedrunning. This is because even though he hasn't speedrun before, he has done a lot of challenges that are similar to speedrunning, which will definitely improve his speedrunning points. Plus, I'm pretty sure he has a good idea of speedrunning since he has watched a lot of speedruns before. Next up is game IQ. His game IQ comes from survival and PvP, giving him a total of 7 in game IQ, which I believe is pretty fair. And in PvP, Technoblade gets a whole 10. He is really dominant in both 1.8 and 1.9 PvP, beating players like Calvin and Dream in their own version. Technoblade also gets a 9 in survival. He is actually really good at survival. You could see this when he plays in SMPs such as Earth SMP and the Dream SMP. He just clearly knows what he's doing. The only reason why he doesn't get a 10 though is because it doesn't seem like he knows how to do farms, but besides that, he is insane at survival. Next up is mechanics, getting points from PvP, parkour, and bridging. Now, Technoblade doesn't have insane bridging like Fruitberries, but it's still really good, and it gives him a good amount of points, especially with how consistent he is, giving him a total of 8 points in mechanics. And last but not least is building and redstone. And believe it or not, these are the ones that actually sealed the deal for Technoblade. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know this, but Technoblade's actually kinda nice at building. I mean, taking a look at his dream SMP house, now, I'm just assuming, I'm not confirming this, but I'm assuming that he made this off the top of his head. This is really good, which gives him a 3 in building. And with redstone, well, just look at this clip.
I haven't shown anyone, not even Philza. I have been working on just a little hobby, Tommy. Just a little hobby. I need you to stand right here, all right? You see this wall?
Oh, yes.
Now, me personally, I'm not a redstone master, but this seems pretty complicated and that deserves at least 1 point extra for Technoblade, giving him a 2 in redstone. And all of this gives Technoblade a total of 44 points, beating Illumina by 1 and making Technoblade the best Minecraft player. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and subscribe. I've been working on this all week, and today I started working on this at 1 p.m. and it's currently 3 a.m. so that really shows how much work I've put into this video. So make sure to like and subscribe, share with your friends, show them who the real best Minecraft player is. And yeah, again, thank you for watching. There's going to be a Google Sheet down in the description that shows all the data on every player I judged to see who the best Minecraft player is. And there's also a tier list that's there so you guys can show me who the best Minecraft player you guys think is. Anyways, like and subscribe, check out my Twitch in the description, and that's about it. Check out the videos on the screen, and I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys later.